And welcome back to Chapter 8 of the Vigilantes for the Hero's Prize, The Prodigy, by Zachary Sergi. Thank you again for making this. I know it's a very older game, and it's still very enjoyable. I'm having a ton of fun with this. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. All I know is I'm broke. I'm not going to make next month's rent. So that's game over then. So, I'm going to go on to the story right now. As you fly to meet Jenny, your thoughts are consumed with Toronto Rain in your own younger years. It makes you remember why Jenny is not just your PFPP agent, she's also your best friend. When your life was turned upside down, your parents' imprisonment, and you moved in with Grandma, you couldn't talk to any of your old friends. Going from your sheltered private school to the rougher public school was a big change, especially as you began to learn that there are all kinds of social complications to being powered. The anti-gang rivalries and the eastern fringes are just the tip of the iceberg. When it comes to powered politics, entire textbooks have been written on the subject. So to say that powered kids are cliquey would be an understatement. Upon arriving at your new school, there was one group that immediately tortured you the most. The normal people. The powered kids were a minority at the school to begin with, which meant that the majority of the schools already hated you, since unpowered kids are notorious to wear powered kids. Though the normal kids targeted you, especially because if there's anything teenagers hate most, it's what they couldn't squeeze you into a specific group. And you had a lot of trouble finding a group, even though you tried to befriend the other energy wielders. The other flyers, actually. However, flyers hate energy wielders based on some old age feud dating back to the earliest powered individuals. Apparently the first flyer and the first energy wielder were mortal enemies. Since you have both flight and energy powers, you were seen as a particularly heinous gene hazard. No one wanted you in their group, and as a result of your solo status, you were hounded by just about everyone at the school. You can't imagine Toronto Rain at her fancy private powered school with trained social mediators and guidance counselors. You also bet Toronto Rain with her elemental power set must be one of those most popular girls. She probably would have tortured you in high school. Though you know exactly what to do because you were at school, you handled the social politics by bleh. You were never going to let other people tell you what you could do or couldn't have, so you always tried your best to make as many friends as you could. Still, you felt very alone. Actually, you've always felt alone, but it's not something you allow yourself to give much thought to. It's just the way things are. There are some things in life you can't control. The only thing you control is how hard you work to change everything. You're meeting Jenny at your favorite spot, the Vigilante, MC's largest comic/game/collectible store, which luckily happens to be open 24 hours, occupying 4 stories. The Vigilante is practically a department store for all things hero related. You and Jenny always meet in one of the private gaming rooms, usually over your favorite virtuous reality games. Sorry, Habibi, I'm afraid there's no time for fun today, she says, sitting down as usual. She wears her ponytail pantsuit uniform, though you notice that she's added an unexpected red heel to the ensemble. I hear you've been rather busy, Jenny says. Too busy to return my calls, it seems. I know, but before you rip into me, you start, let me tell you my side of the story. 20 minutes later. Damn, that's a long talking time. Having heard every detail of your first harrowing night, Jenny pauses to mull it all over. Well, you certainly dove headfirst in the deep end, didn't you? Ever heard of paying your dues, climbing the ladder? There's a reason people aren't supposed to skip steps, Mr. Dunce. You should have called for help. You should have, Jenny, you interrupt. I get it. I took on too much, too fast, which is exactly why I went back to the basics earlier tonight. I stopped the anti-gang rumble. Well, that's certainly a smarter, though no less dangerous place to start, Jenny offers. Still, you've dug yourself quite a hole here. Yes, I did, you said. Tired of mulling over the horrors of your situation, so what are we going to do now to make it better? I suppose that's the spirit. Well, I'll look into the Prodigy, which there's not much to go on. Black Kevlar bodysuits are pretty common purchases these days. I could look into a power set, but I bet she's unregistered. It's clear that she is some kind of mad-on for you. Say hard-on for me. Though perhaps you could have your first genuine villain stalker. Yeah, right. She would kill me at a heartbeat. You kidding me? She had cannons and grenades and all kinds of weird shit. you say, wishing you were enough to be somebody for that to be true. She probably saw that silly hero press post and wanted me out of her way. She's just another nobody trying to make a name for herself. Still, anything you can find would be helpful. I'm on it. Now, before we move to the splice circle, I've got a bit of briefing prepared for you. All the basics of powered harrowing, plus some gems of advice. Do you want to get over with now? Yeah, I could use all the help I can get. Good, Jane says, looking at her enemy chip. Inspector Detector will forward you to the folder. There's a PFPP handbook on harrowing in there, but since you're maintaining a secret identity, you've already got most of it covered. The more interesting stuff involves some comprehensive information on powered history and science. Suddenly, Jenny's ME chip Inspector Detector, a British man in a long trench coat, appears at your mind, holding a folder. ME chip J appears to take it from him as they begin to chat. You start to read the contents. Powered humans, a brief history. Fairly certain you already know most of this information, you began to skim through the article, catching glimpses of paragraphs here and there. Humans first began developing extraordinary talents in the late 21st century, all appearing in the same generation, spanning across the globe. On the heels of the Industrial Revolution, the millennial tech boom, and the energy regenesis, the powered renaissance has been marked as the next great step in human history, blah, 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 blah. You stop reading, scrolling to another document. Had evolved beyond racism, sexism, and sexual orientationism, but these hot-button issues were quickly supplanted by genism, the first crop of powered individuals, powereds, as they were soon dubbed. Thus, less polite circles referred to them as gene hazards, were greatly shunned by the general public. So many of these international powered individuals fled to Millennia City, an emerging urban center of the American West Coast where they could be free to form their own community, blah, 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 backed by the United States government, which realized the fast-acting acceptance and regulation of powered individuals could kickstart a resurgence of their declining prominence against the then dominant world power, China. The American Powered Renaissance began solidified by both the Powered Citizens Equality Act and the creation of the Department for the Regulation of Powered Resources. The world's first powered humans began to flourish in America's Millennium City, sparkling a cultural trend that would sweep the globe. Through anti-powered regulations in China remained a slight as tightly controlled as blah 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 blah. You keep skimming, hoping to find some tidbit you didn't already know. It is widely known the progress of the millennium tech boom curved from the onset of the Third World War, which would turn spark the perfection of nuclear technology that spawned the energy regenesis, at the unthinkable cost of losing a sizable portion of northern Russia in the fusion eclipse. Many scientists opposed to that. In the light of the massive world upheaval, human evolution took the next leap to satisfy society inefficiencies. When technology now eliminated the need for many basic human functions, with the energy crisis seemingly solved, humanity was free to unlock further potential in their genomes and to take on new abilities. The onset of powered abilities have sparked another period of rapid growth and change, unlocking potential previously thought unimaginable. With humans now regulating weather patterns, generating clean water, and building cities with their minds, the limits of progress seem to have once again been shattered. Just this week, NASA reported that they're prepping their first mission of powered astronauts capable of traveling through space at previously unrecorded speeds and distances. Others, most notably growing the cultural cult movement called the Meek, possess a decidedly less positive outlook on the powered renaissance. Many see an upswing in violence, unrest, and conflict that will most necessarily lead to a fourth world war, especially as the eastern and western worlds seem deadlocked in a powered individual arms race. You stop reading, looking up at Jenny with an eye roll. Come on, I know my harrowing history inside and out backward. Don't you have anything new for me? As a matter of fact, I do, Jay says. I got a special tip for you. I want to see the power tip. Given the stigma surrounding flying energy unification, I'm sure you've never really thought about this before, but you can utilize your flying and energy powers in all sorts of useful combinations. Even though it's more costly in terms of power level, these combinations might pack the extra punch you need. You nod at Jenny, thinking that even though this seems like common sense, you never thought about it in exactly these terms before. Suddenly, endless combinations start to run through your mind. Cyclonic spinning with crushing energy blast, turning yourself into a charged battering ram. The possibilities seem endless. You want to start... I should have gone with the Physical shit. Damn it. I want to save power, not use more. You got levels of power I didn't think. I don't think you quite understand how to do with a new breakthrough and energized atom splitting. If you really wanted to, I think you could. Jenny starts, but almost immediately looks like she regrets having said anything at all. What? Wait. You want to start testing these out right now? You got levels of power levels I don't think you quite understand. How would new breakthroughs and energized atom splitting. If you really wanted to, I think you could. I could increase my energy levels? Never mind, going all steely again. We've already wasted enough time. Let's get back to business. Jenny has just given quite a bit to think about, but you can make a mental note to invade his powered potential later. And note that your ME chip records without you even asking. Alright. So you started a fine mess with the splice circle, Jenny says. One of my contacts at the downstairs precinct interrogated Tracker. Turns out that Smither didn't just want the Gravitas to increase his offensive powers. He was also trying to expand into the ancient weapons business. He contracted Tracker to acquire the Gravitas and become the Splice Circle's newest general. Apparently, Tracker already had his gene-deep penile enlargement scheduled. Jenny lets out a giggle, but quickly pulls herself back to seriousness. This was some concern within the Splice Circle that blatantly illegal nature of Smither's latest enterprise was too bold, so Madame Weiss began placing her ducks in a row for a coup, a move she had been waiting to make since Smither dumped her. Then Prodigy showed up, you fill in, taking out Smither and giving Madame Weiss the chance she needed to make her move. Right you are. Here's the latest intel on the Splice Circle's operations, Jenny says, sending another Inspector Detector ME message, this time displaying the organizational Splice Circle chart you pulled up earlier. The Splice Circle updated roster. Boss, Smither, deceased. Security General, Boulder, deceased. Business Generals. Shed Club, Madame Weiss, emerging boss. The Rival Club, Kirkpatrick, missing. Fiddish Sinden, Wanda W., emerging counselor. Aces High Casino, 3rd degree, deceased. Yes, I'd like to see that one. Prostitution, Lolly, emerging underboss. Firearms, Casing, deceased. Drugs, Fracture, deceased. Ancient Weapons, Tracker, incarcerated. Our intel isn't perfect, but as far as we can tell you, as soon as Smither went down, Madame Weiss made her move. She already recruited the female-centered generals, Wanda W. and Lolly, bringing the club, Sinden, and prostitution ring together. However, the former underboss Casing made a play for his rightful ascension just as fast. But Casing died. But Madame Weiss moved faster. Since Casing's body washed up on the docks this morning. Looks like someone's been rather busy, you say, thinking that all you've done in the past couple weeks was stop an anti-gang rumble. Madame Weiss has already seized control of the circle and started restructuring. But there was a hiccup with Kirkpatrick. Jenny starts. Kirkpatrick, he's missing. Right? Do you remember who Static was? Yeah, I do remember who Static was. Yeah. Was I right on Kirkpatrick? Is Static really part of the ring? Huh? Well, it turns out he hasn't been heard from because he abandoned the Cape route and went undercover. Static was Kirk. I knew it! Almost profoundly. It turns out that his power to avoid all forms of mind control, making him the perfect mole against hypno powers like Smither and Madame Weiss. When Smither went down, Kirkpatrick managed to and got trigger happy. Know exactly how Madame Weiss found him, and he's been missing ever since. Any hunches, you ask? Not wanting to think about what's happening to Static Kirkpatrick right now? Apparently, Kirkpatrick has been collecting evidence at the Splice Circle for months, waiting for the right time to strike. The police think Madame Weiss has taken him hostage, trying to find the location of his evidence stockpile. She needs to get her hands on it for a new and improved Splice Circle to survive, not to mention to cement her boss status. Jenny then looks at you, growing serious. Here's the thing only the MCPD and Madam Vice know about this evidence, which gives you a unique opportunity here. If you find that stockpile, it'll help the police take down both Vice and Splice. I don't think I have to tell you what will happen if the Splice Circle destroys the evidence and finish restructuring. I'll be at the top of their target list, you say. Stockpile. Huh. So I have to find Kirkpatrick's stockpile of evidence. Okay. But so will Prodigy, Jenny says. The Splice Circle probably already has information on her that we don't. So taking them out may also help you lead to her. So if I find the evidence stockpile, I give the police exactly what they need to arrest the Splice Circle at their weakest juncture. In the process, I can also clear my name and salvage my reputation as a hero. And as a bonus, I might learn something about this Prodigy lady. This seems like a no-brainer. Precisely, Jenny says, smirking. So what the slugger are you waiting for? I don't. God damn it. This is a second chance to get things right after that terrible first night. Best of all, if you're successful in shutting down the Splice Circle and saving Static, you'll surely be seen as the next champion of the fringes. An excellent way to prove you're a hero committed to justice. Yeah, but Jenny, how am I going to find the evidence faster than the police, Madame Vice, or some other meddling hero? I'm not a detective. That was a lucky break with Tracker's fingertips. Well, you better start getting used to some intrigue solving, huh, mighty dunce? Jetty proclaims. Besides, you were in Smither's headquarters and you confronted Madame Vice, so I'm betting you saw and heard things in there that might help you, even if you don't know what they are yet. The real question is, Jenny says with a wink, where are you going to start? If I had to remember from back then, I'm fuckled again. Anyway, here are my stats. Power's at 88. I don't know if that went down. I think it was at 90. I'm not sure. Or I think it was at 60. I know my health went up, which is nice. Sidekick. I'm surprised you don't have a relationship with this woman, Jenny, and have that go up and down. Justice 60. That's the same. That one looks like the same. That one's the same. Team player. Yeah, all that looks about the same. So my legend still that. All right. And I guess I'll see you in chapter 9, I think, for Case Magic. Hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you'll have a great rest of your day. Bye. Capital of the country. A fact you're reminded of as a sonic boom pulses through the air. You look to see two blondes rocketing across the sky, a cloud of smoke left in their wake. You sigh, knowing that you belong up there with the legends instead of down here with the masses. These days, 1 out of every 3 people is born with powered abilities, and pretty much every one of them wants to be a hero. Especially now that powered heroes have eclipsed movie stars and music icons to set the standard for A-list celebrities. You'd also love to be flying home right now, considering that you have the power to fly. However, after one too many gruesome mid-air collisions, the Department for the Regulation of Powered Resources designated the skies for government-licensed travelers only. So flying is definitely off limits for you, but do you let that stop you? Well, if I'm flying, I might not meet anyone interesting, so I think I'm going to walk it. Breaking the law will not only hinder your heroic guys later, so you'll know that you'll have to be patient, extremely patient, considering that if you're a big-time hero, you could be flying home in a fraction of time. As you walk down to the Metroway platform, you pay for the ticket by rolling up your sleeve and accessing your ME chip, a bit of personal tablet technology, embedded in the underside of your wrist. Not too long ago, you used paper slips to pay for things, a little plastic device for phones, but that was all before communication, identification, entertainment, and banking functions became standard, and ME chips. Each ME chip comes fully customizable with robotics,
we now return to
your habits and desires. There are 3 standard templates available for the robotic personality, so you decide to go with the supportive caretaker. Sassy. My name is Habadibi. I'm going to be a sassy motherfucker.
Now return to